Hi friends, this is Lynn. Rod thought I needed to make another video because this is so important, and I just want to go over some ways to keep coronavirus out of your home if you must get out to get groceries and that sort of thing. So I'm just going to show you a couple of things that we do. I'm not going to the store right now, but when I was, these are just normal gloves. They're not considered corona proof, but every barrier between you and the virus is helpful. So this is just good protocol to use in the winter during the flu season. You'll notice they're kind of half inside out. The reason I do that is because then I can put them back on just by pulling them over my hand like this without touching the outside. Now these are made to so you can touch electronics and everything, and the keypads, and they're supposed to work. They actually don't work too well, but they're better than nothing, and they're a little bit of protection. So whatever you've got, just use it. You're gonna have to wash your hands when you get home anyway. So you notice I'm just using the inside of my glove. Okay, so there they are. Now that's everything I touch, every doorknob, every cart. I've got a layer of protection now between me and that cart. And my mask, I leave hanging out here. And you know, they say you don't need a mask, but that's really because people are just touching their face all the time when they have a mask on. Coronavirus, I've got a little chart up here, stays in the airspace 3 hours. So if someone who has no symptoms but has it, which happens, coughs, and you walk through that airspace, you could be sucking that into your lungs. So just ignore the people who give you weird looks. You know, maybe you won't be the one on the respirator or your grandma, and just put a mask on and don't touch the front, because I'm reusing this one because we don't have a lot of masks. So there you are. When you're ready to go into the store, this is what you might look like. And do your shopping, just be wise. If you don't have to touch the keypad, don't. If you do, just know that's why you have these on. If you have to take your glove off to touch the teeth, that's okay. Just use your hand sanitizer. You should have that in your pocket. And when you get back in the car, use your hand sanitizer again. I'm even wearing glasses. That protects my eyes a little bit. These viruses are very tiny. It's not something you're going to see. They can go through things like this. Okay, now I'm home, okay? And let's pretend I just walked in. First thing I'm going to do is take these gloves off. I'm going to do it by reaching under here. Now you could do this with surgical gloves too. And this just keeps all the contamination inside. I'm doing the same thing with this way. Everything inside, and I'm actually just going to throw those in the washer like that, and then I'm gonna take this off because I'm gonna wash my hands anyway. I'm gonna just hang this outside. That virus only lives at the most 3 days. I'm not shopping every 3 days if I was. So anything on that mask is going to be dead the next time I put it on anyway, but just to be careful, it's going outside. And now I'm going to wash my hands. Some soap here. I'm going to be doing this more than once, but this is just to get anything that came through those gloves, because remember, it's not going to grow on the gloves, it's not going to grow in your groceries. It's going to grow on my hands, and it's looking for a hitchhike into my nose, eyes, or mouth. So I'm just physically removing that possibility. You notice I'm even using my arm there just to turn that off. That's a trick you learn in the hospital. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit more about where these bugs grow. Cardboard, 24 hours. If you get something from Amazon, unless you need to open it right then, just kick it into the garage for 24 hours. 24 hours and anything on there is going to be dead. Remember, it can't grow on there. it's just hitchhiking. You don't know how many people have touched that on the way to you and how sick they were. They may have had corona and didn't even know they were sick. They can still be something on there. So just be wise. If you must open it, just as soon as you do, take the stuff out of it and just kick that out in the garage for a day and wash your hands really good, okay? So I'm just going to toss that to the side. Now let's talk about groceries. Okay, the first thing, you're going to run into stuff like this. You can't wash this off. Only thing you can really do with this is wipe it off, or remember it's cardboard. Just have a pile of stuff out in the garage or on the back patio or some covered area where you can just leave this stuff for at least 24 hours and you don't have to worry about it. Now, the CDC isn't saying you need to do any of this because they're saying it doesn't live on food. That's true, but it hitchhikes on food, and it doesn't take how many little viruses to get in your nose and mouth before suddenly it's living in you. So this would be something you could just put outside. Stuff. Well, what about produce? What about fresh produce? Now, this is a problem. But what you can do with fresh produce, and again, this is what I do. They're not saying you need to do it. I have a pan in here of water. It's supposed to be a 1/4 cup of bleach in there to a gallon of water. You just let your produce soak in there. Now that's quite a bit of bleach, so you're going to really have to, really have to rinse that good when you're done to get the bleach off. Probably about only 30 seconds would probably do it in there. I'm not sure you need that much bleach. I would think a tablespoon of bleach would be okay, but the main thing is just soap and water even would be fine. But if you're really worried about it, when you've timed it and you've got enough time, you're just going to rinse it really good. Again, just soap and water would do the same thing. Just rinse it really good, get everything off of it. And then I have a little place set up here to drain it. Bleach is toxic. It's not something you want to eat. So you don't want to be sure you rinse really good. This is not amoebas. So again, it's kind of up to you if you want to use bleach or just soapy water. I'm going to throw this in here. Okay, this stuff is going to go in the garbage. Now remember, even if you have your stuff delivered, how many hands have touched it? How many people put it on the shelf? Took it out of the truck, put it on the shelf. If you had it delivered, they had to put it in a cart, had to transfer the cart, then put your stuff in one place, and then someone has to bring it out to you. It's a lot of hands. So what I've been doing, I've just been taking plastic, remember, hard surfaces, 3 days. These are what you really want to worry about, especially moist surfaces. I'm just putting those in my sink like this. I'm getting some soapy water. So I might be putting, a tablespoon of soap in here. I've got a pitcher I use just for this purpose. Get some nice soapy water. And what I'm doing is, you can see this is even like snacks. I'm just pouring this over. I'm going to rub it a little bit on this handle where I know everybody's probably touched it. Now remember, soap is your friend. Soap is not any virus's friend, because that soap, remember, breaks down the fatty covering on the, and just like it breaks down grease on your hands. So then I just take my soap and just rinse it off. Cool water, not hot water. You don't want to drive it into pores or whatever you're doing. You want just cool water. Now, remember, it's not growing on here. It might just be loosely touching it. Probably between the soap, which breaks down the surface tension and breaks down the actual covering of the coronavirus, that plus that forceful water. Very good chance that anything that was on this from human hands has been washed off now. Now I'm just going to leave it for a while, except for the milk. The milk has to be put away. So what I do is, after I do that, I have some little towels here, old towels I keep, and I just go ahead and dry this off. Feel pretty good now about putting this in my fridge. Now, anything else that you don't feel you could do this to, remember you still have wipes. And this is a hydrogen peroxide solution. You can look that up if you didn't have any alcohol, but you happen to have some hydrogen peroxide. Just remember that you have to cover it because it's light sensitive, unlike alcohol. So that's a clean sock I put over my bottle. Now that is ready to put in the fridge. This goes in the washer along with my gloves. That will go in the fridge. Okay, so let's look at this again. Cardboard, 24 hours. It's not, you can wait a day to open your package if you want to be really safe. Plastic and any hard surface, non-porous surface, 3 days. This stuff is amazing that it can survive 3 days. It's like waiting for a nice, warm, moist host. And you don't want to be it, or your grandma. Airspace, 3 hours. So you wear that mask. Doesn't matter what other people think. You wear it, especially if you're vulnerable in any way. And you must get out. You put that mask on, because this isn't going to last forever. But we want you to last for every day that God gives you. All right, that's my deal. And thank you for listening, and be safe out there, and God bless.